Hello everyone, welcome to Simproved, Fry speaking here, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. Today we are going to build a very cool medieval castle. It's Kaer Morhen from the Witcher series. Actually, it's a book series written by a Polish writer named Andrzej Sapkowski. I hope I did pronounce his name right. And based on these book series, or on these books, is a very successful game franchise that you might know. And that franchise also got turned into a Netflix series. And there's also, I think, an animation movie. So yeah, it's quite the castle, I would say, personally, in this series. If you have never heard of it, or have never seen or played the games or read the books, don't worry, it's a very cool medieval castle for you in The Sims 4. And for those who know the story and certain characters and so on, they probably will recognize one or two things here. I hope at least. So, since there are so many depictions of Kaer Morhen, I just wanted to say quickly that usually I always try to recreate it as good as possible, but since there are so many different ones, you know, the enemy, the animation, I don't even know it's an anime. I've watched it, it's very cool, but yeah, that definitely looks way different. Also, it's like in the whole timeline of the story, Kaer Morhen looks of course different. I try to depict kind of the version of the Witcher 3 game. Because just it was easier to watch Let's Plays and like people have a good look at the, you know, quests in this castle and so on. So for those who don't know actually what's going on here, it's a medieval castle and the Witchers are kind of like a monster hunter guild. Oh my god, I know that so many fans will now bash me, but yeah, basically I try to explain it as if I would explain it to, I don't know, my grandma, for example. And these monster hunters always, you know, travel outside and, you know, do their quests and whatnot. One is the main character called Geralt. And during winter, usually they get back to Kaer Morhen, which is this castle or this keep in the mountains. And during winter they kind of, you know, stay there over winter. And this is why in the series and in the books and whatnot, you know, that's like the castle, the main castle, so to speak, where they are lots of times. And it's also, you can see it now in the Netflix series, like the season 2, they also finally get to Kaer Morhen and everyone was like, oh, how it's gonna look like. So yeah, it looks way different. I personally like the, you know, Witcher game series layout, so this is a depiction of it. I tried it as best as I can in The Sims 4. So for those who have never built in The Sims, we only can build 4 stories high. The biggest lot size that we have is 64 tiles by 64 tiles, which is this, of course. And of course I had to kind of switch the proportions from time to time to make it fit Sims gameplay, because Sims always need at least like one tile to walk through stuff, or, you know, they're like, Sims players will know what I mean. But yeah, this kind of restricts me a little bit how things are set up, and that's why sometimes I had to make the keep a little bit smaller in proportion to the baileys or the yards. I don't know exactly what the terminology here is. And but I wanted to have the baileys. I definitely wanted to have that. And I also thought that in The Sims 4 you can, you know, cut off parts of, you know, huge lots. So for those who only want to have the keep itself and do like a nice garden and do it like in a nice kind of way, because it's kind of very run down, almost a ruin. Well, it is a ruin. And that's what I wanted to depict here too. So there will be lots of walls everywhere, but your Sims can walk on them and light lots of bonfires, for example. I thought that's the only thing that they can and might do there, because, you know, we don't have gameplay that is kind of like medieval stand guard or be an archer, stuff like that. So I thought if you would play The Witcher in The Sims 4 and kind of want to play with the characters, there are, by the way, tons of cool Geralts and Jennifers and series, and I don't know what they're, all of these are already in the gallery. People have recreated in The Sims, of course, and I wanted to do my part as a builder and like do this famous castle. So yeah, I had to make some stuff smaller, but I think the proportions are kind of right for Sims, in Sims kind of the main frame of the Sims here, I guess. But yeah, I had to use lots of half walls, for example, to make the towers appear a little bit higher or thinner or whatever. So yeah, we had to do some building tricks here, of course. And yeah, like I said, it's not like 100% the game series version. It's also not 100% the Netflix series version. But on the interior, for example, I will try to do my best to go more for the Netflix series, because I actually really like the production design and it has this very gritty, dark kind of feel. And I wanted to have that in The Sims, because in The Sims everything's like so nice and looks so beautiful. So that's kind of like easy to build like a beautiful medieval castle, like Sleeping Beauty. There are tons of Disney castles on the gallery. And I think that's also like something that usually Simmers would love to have in the game, but I personally just wanted to have it a little bit more gritty and like dirty and run down, and Kaer Morhen was perfect for that, since it has this ruined feel. So we will put tons of ruined stuff from Get Together, and I think the Jungle Adventure things, I think Henford and Bagley had like debug ruins, so I will put them inside here as well. And like all these kinds of stuff I will just put in, so you have definitely that feel that it's kind of like a, let's just say, a fixer-upper, okay? I mean, I know that in the Sims community, lots of people like to fix stuff and renovate. So here you go, guys. Renovate this castle if you want to. But yeah, I try to have that feel where it's like really gritty, and it will look absolutely bomb during winter, like when it snows, if you have the seasons pack, of course. So yeah, I just thought that's an interesting thing to build. Also, it got requested quite a lot by you guys. And since I had this freedom by choosing, I kind of want to do the game layout here and then do the Netflix series kind of stuff here, I kind of had a little bit more freedom. And yeah, I think you get like a really cool castle with the Baileys and stuff like that. So it will be quite cool and kind of look gritty and run down and have some ruined parts and stuff. So if you ask yourself, what the hell, like how long did this take me again? Because that's a usual question. I think this was 40 hours of building, but you always forget that it's actually also a lot of play testing, setting the, cheating some seasons. Then while building, I always had to go in with some test Geralts and like test the beds and everything, because I freely placed some stuff. And we all know that Sims can walk over a book or something. And they get stuck all the time and can't use certain objects. So it's at least always like 5 hours of playtesting, just dumb clicking around and see if everything is working. And I have to say, this is working. So if you have like the whole Witcher characters and you want to play kind of sort of like them being there over winter, you can do this here. Everything is working. Every one of the main characters kind of has a bedroom here or like a place to sleep, and they can train, because they're like fighters. So I have this boxing sack thingies and there's like woodworking and kind of like this stuff that is maybe a little bit more medieval and it's not like too out there Sims-ish. Keep in mind that of course I will have to put stuff in there so it works as a Sims gameplay kind of thing. So we don't have like chamber pots and stuff. So there are two, I think in the main keep there are 2 bathrooms with like a toilet and all that stuff. But also outside in the Baileys, there are the pea bushes. I don't actually know what they're called. I always call them sex bushes because Sims can woohoo, well, have sex in there, but also nap and like sleep and pee and poop or something. So it's like a all-in-one bathroom bedroom kind of situation, which makes it very easy to use. And I wanted to use the Baileys as all the stuff with like all the activities that you could do maybe in The Sims that make kind of sense in a medieval way. So there will be some garden patches, some Patchy the Scarecrow, so they can help you Sims wise to do the gardening because it's quite a big lot. And there's a chicken coop because I just thought maybe they have some chickens, you know, so you can kind of live off the eggs and stuff and you can garden. So this is how it looks like after I've done the whole Baileys in the exterior. And now we're gonna move inside. My dog just came in. Thank you, Gina. And now we're gonna move in. Can you please not? She's looking at me. Are you recording? Yes, I am. So yeah, we are moving inside and I play tested lots of stuff, as you can see, and we start with the Great Hall. So for the big fans here, we will have something really, really cool here in the Great Hall. And you will see in a hot minute. But yeah, basically the Great Hall has some camping tables. But yeah, here we go again. This is the tree. The tree was made by SatiSim. She's a very good friend of mine, also a content creator, also a German, but does her content in English. And she is a wizard with the tool mod, which is basically like a modification for the Sims 4 build mode, where you can freely kind of turn it to like a 3D blender kind of thing. And she created this tree because that's like her thing. She's absolutely great in like the tool mod. And we were talking about it because she always wanted to do that tree. And I was like, I always wanted to do Kaer Morhen. Maybe we can like join forces here. And this is basically how she did it. This is her video that she sent me. And it's absolutely amazing. So she went by the Netflix series version. We discussed, of course, all the other versions, and I was like, okay, I want to have it like next to a wall. So I sent her like a tiny little bit of the room of the Great Hall, and she put it in there. She sent it over to me. So it's like a total collaboration, guys. And it's absolutely amazing. The details are just off the charts. I love her for this. Thank you so much, Sati. Please make sure to check out her channel and like subscribe if you are into like these kinds of things. She does like lots of these whimsical fantasy kind of things with tool mod and is like a great builder too. She does amazing huge castles as well. So like medieval fantasy stuff is like totally her thing. And she was very excited that, you know, we could do this together. And I will use some of her very cool stuff later on as well in the laboratory. And yeah. So thank you again, Sati. You're just, I love you. Thank you for this. So after I've done the Great Hall with the tree and the camping tables, lots of candles everywhere, it's gonna look so epic at night. And of course there will be some panning shots at the end so you can have a better look at everything. But yeah, after that I went to the armory, which also kind of has a little bit the layout of the series. We definitely have the snow special effects coming down in there on the side there, which is what happens in the series, and I kind of love that. So that will happen on the great tree in the Great Hall and also in the armory, for example. And then over on the top in the 3 chambers on the top floor towers, we also have like some holes on the ceilings, and it's gonna be snowing inside. So yeah, armory, then we have a trophy room, which isn't mentioned anywhere, but you get trophies like the heads of the monsters in the game. And I was like, well, maybe they put them here as well. So they have like a little trophy room. And then I went on to the library, which is basically just my kind of Sims version of everything, because I just knew I wanted to have it really gritty. There is really, really small windows in this castle, you know, so it makes sense, and also it kind of looks better. So it's very dark inside, and I wanted to use candles everywhere, which I did. So it is very dark and it has this gritty feel, and I really love that. Like, it's not like this princess nice kind of castle. But yeah, we have the library, for example, where they can look up, you know, monster lore. or vampire lore in this case here. I have the vampire lore Sims stand there so they can do the vampire lore activity. This is Geralt's and Yennefer's room. I think you can see this in the first minutes of The Witcher 3. It's the tutorial room. And it's very colorful and has this painted walls, which is actually very usual for a medieval castle. They always painted their walls, and it was actually very colorful, not as gritty as you might think. And I kind of like that, and I used some wallpapers here with some Jungle Adventure trim, so it may look as if it's like painted on the wall of like stone, you know. Then I moved over to Vesemir's room, which I think we never see. At least I haven't seen it. I just assumed this is how he would live. I definitely loved in the series that they didn't go for chimneys and fireplaces that much, especially in the Great Hall. At least I haven't seen it, but they have these round... It's not a campfire. Here in my version, it's a campfire, and it works for heating purposes, of course. But yeah, I have them everywhere. So if you have the Seasons pack, you can like warm your Sims there. It's kind of like your heating device, right? And it works as if it's heating the room as well. So this is Triss's room, Triss Marigold, the mage, magician, wizard, sorceress thing. I'm so bad at explaining this. I also don't want to go too deep into like spoiled stuff if people have like never played it or, you know, watched the series. But yeah, she's like a healer, and she does like lots of potions and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it really properly, but yeah, that's basically like her main treat, I would say. That's what she really is good for. That sounds so bad. But yeah, I gave her like a little room, which is way nicer decorated because we see it in the games. I can remember that they can like conjure really nice furniture and like a whole environment for themselves to make it like nice for them. At least that's what the sorcerers can do there, and I just thought that's what she did here too, because we don't see it in the series. I can't remember if we see it in The Witcher 3 in the game, so if I did this wrong, I mean, this is the Sims version, you know. So she has a nicer room with an attached garden, rooftop garden, where she can grow some of her herbs. And then the room next to her is basically Ciri's room, because they're kind of like sisters to each other, right? And Ciri in the series and also in the books, it's described as like a really shitty, horrible, you know, like it's kind of like a ruined room, and she has like a rat hide at the walls. We don't have any hides that we can put on the walls in The Sims, but there is a crushed hamster somewhere. This is the hamster looking rug, and I just made it small. So maybe it's a rat, but yeah, there will be lots of mouse holes, kind of these objects. So there will be some rats running around. There will be some spiders running around. I really wanted it to look kind of almost like a dungeon cell, you know. So this is basically what's going on. It's very, run down, but she has the campfire heating device, so to speak. So your Sim will have it nice there in winter as well. So, you know, keep in mind that Sims kind of are only afraid of the mouse holes. I don't know if there's a certain trait that they don't mind this, but yeah, you may have to delete them so your Sims aren't squeamish all the time. But yeah, maybe, of course, Ciri isn't. Like, she doesn't mind to have rats around her. This is one of the cops' rooms, so yeah, young witchers that are still learning to become witchers. They may have just like a really simple, room with just their beds and like some chests maybe for their stuff or so. So that's what I wanted to do here, because you can have up to 8 Sims, you know, so I wanted to have like a dorm kind of quality here as well. And now we move into the basement where the laboratory is, and I will place down 2 rooms also made by SatiSim. She is amazing, and she turned the candle making machine from, I think, eco lifestyle to this medieval candle making looking thing. So we have that in the laboratory because I want to have lots of stuff for your Sims to do in the laboratory. And the get to work potion it's a high-tech kind of thing where they can do potions and serums and stuff from the scientist career, and she turned that as well into like a medieval looking potion brewing table. It's amazing. Of course, there's a cauldron in the middle, because spellcaster Sims from Realm of Magic can do potions in the cauldron. So here we go. We go full circle, lots of stuff to do in the lab. And I think non-spellcaster, like non-magical Sims, can create mac and cheese in the cauldron. Isn't that like a thing? They can cook something there. So yeah, lots of like objects to pretend to have some sort of potion making magical stuff in there. And of course, lots of potions that are already grabbed from debug, so you can put them in your inventory and use them. They have crazy animations during live mode. So keep in mind, this will be a kind of like a disco almost in live mode. But you will see later when we go into the panning shots. And yeah, this is basically it, guys. Of course, I had to reduce like 40 hours of footage building this into like 20 minutes. So I'm really sorry, but here you go. These are the panning shots, so you can have a better look at everything. This is how it looks during summer. But forget about this, because usually we are... Yeah, of course, you know, you visit Kaer Morhen during winter, and I wanted to have this run-down look, you know, toned down. It's dark and gritty. And henceforth, we will go and look at it during snow time. Blizzard. There we go. It looks amazing. I really love how it turned out. It's as detailed as possible. It's as usable in the Sims-wise as possible. If you want to recreate the Witcher storyline. And you can already see the Great Hall with the tree by Sati, and the snow coming down through a hole in the ceiling. And it's so cool. It's really cool. I love how it looks. I love that it's kind of like dark and gritty. The Great Hall actually is like the nicest, you know, has like really nice columns and stuff. And like it's actually still the nicest room. And then later on it gets like even more gritty and kind of like run down. And I kind of like that. It's definitely hard to do a medieval kind of castle like this, or like a keep like this in The Sims 4, because we don't have that much stuff. Keep in mind, we don't have a medieval pack. And the Spellcaster Realm of Magic pack was more like this Harry Pottery plus Art Nouveau kind of thing. So way later, of course. So I had to, you know, make do with the objects that we have here. But I think it turned out really, really great. I've looked at lots of the other Kaer Morhen builds that are, of course, in the gallery, and they're all really, really good. But I think that mine is the most detailed one, giving the aspect that I wanted to make the rooms as big as possible in relation to the proportions by the Witcher 3 game version of this castle. So, yeah, I definitely think that's, you know, the best that you can do right now with the packs that you have here with the game. But yeah, it's definitely lots of fun. I think it looks really, really cool. Has a really cool gritty feel. It's not too ruiny, but it's definitely kind of like dark and fun. And yeah, like I said, I wanted to try to recreate it as best as I can. And yeah, I really hope that you like it as well. So yeah, feel free to download this, of course. The download link is in the video description down below. So I put this on the gallery and you can download this for free. You know, figure out if it's working in your game. This is, of course, a huge build, very detailed, lots and lots of objects, I know. And I know this will probably fry some laptops here. But yeah, I hope that you like this. Hardcore Witcher fans may, you know, put anything in the comments what they want and correct me on anything that I said here, of course. But yeah, please keep in mind to, you know, stay kind of positive and not be rude, of course. But yeah, I tried to do my best to put this in the Sims perspective. I think it looks quite cool. And yeah, this is definitely something that was overdue. I know that so many people wanted me to build this, and here we go, guys. It's a medieval castle. I'm really looking forward to it and to your comments, and hope that you like it, of course. The laboratory is quite crazy. As you can see, the potions are very, very colorful. There's also a little niche with the turning room, so there are like some chains next to a bed, and maybe that's where they, you know, do the ritual with the young cubs that turn them into witchers, if they survive, of course. So yeah, here we are in the last panning shot, so you can see it while not there is like a blizzard storm at night. So here we go at daytime, so you can have a last little look at everything. And yeah, in my opinion, this is the best that I could do. It's definitely very detailed, lots of stuff to do. If you want to have this as off the grid, by the way, you have to delete the onsen, which is the natural spring on the right of the keep, the special effects machine in one of the towers, and the special effects sprinklers that are directly under the holes in the ceilings. So there must be 3 in the upper towers and 1 in the Great Hall. So that's how you would get this to off the grid and then use this as like totally without a power bill. At least I hope that's how it's working in The Sims 4. So you have like the even more immersive medieval thing. Sadly, some stuff here in The Sims is always, you know, by power, and it has like it's an electrical device. But yeah, what can you do? Alright, that's it, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Feel free to put in the comments whatever you wish to do me next or build next in The Sims 4, and I will gladly consider this. And yeah, thank you again to SatiSim for the crazy cool tree. And yeah, thank you again for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!